Hey, Will Arnett, good morning.
Gee, you are jumping out.
Hey.
You keep going, hey, Will Arnett all the time. What's going on with that?
I'm doing this new thing where I tell people's first name and last name. I can't speak without saying their full name. Like Tommy Lee Jones. You just don't say Tom Jones. You say Tommy Lee Jones.
I bet his friends don't say, hey, Tommy Lee Jones, do you want a glass of water?
I think they probably do.
No, they probably say, hey, you want some water?
Okay. Hey, Will.
See? There we go. Now we're meeting the real Sean.
All right.
Now we can start an all-new SmartLess.
SmartLess.
So, listener, we're trying to figure out why Sean is late this morning. He's never late, so we're actually worried about him. We're starting to think, how would Sean die? We were saying you could choke on egg salad, or maybe burn himself beyond recognition on a hot dumpling or something like that from Chin Chin.
Yeah, or just like he sees fries in the fryer and he just goes face first into it. And they're like, no, don't.
Swan dives.
But you know what? Here's the other possibility is that Sean's sleep, his sleep hygiene is terrible. So he wakes up kind of at like 3 or 4 and he'll stay up and then he'll go back to bed at like 8. And there's a chance, maybe I should ring the house. Should I call the house?
Well, but he sleeps with a fan on. And what else? What else did he have to the hotel room on our trip? Like a fan had to be brought in, and wasn't like an extra pillow or a knitted blanket or something. It was something specific.
Like a weighted blanket. Hang on, I'm calling the house phone.
Oh my God! I hope he's got a real fun outgoing message. Get that up next to the mic. Yeah.
Just call my landline.
Hey, are you going to do the show with us?
Or what do you think?
It's 10:30.
No, it's 10:15.
Oh, Jesus, I'm coming right now.
Okay.
Oh, geez.
Surprise guest, please don't respond, but thank you so much for your patience. He's moments away. We appreciate
Really
it.
appreciate it, surprise guest.
What kind of shape is his hair going to be in when think he has time to grab a hat?
Yeah.
I don't think he's done one without a hat, has he?
I think he sleeps in a hat.
I think he showers with a t-shirt on for sure.
Well, like 'twas the night before Christmas, like an old time sleeping cap.
All right, so Will, today you say you're going to play 9 holes of golf. You've already worked out. Anything else that's going to help the world for you today?
I'm adjusting my recording. I've got a new mic because I'm taking a mic with me because I have to record SmartLess from Singapore. So I'm taking that. The boys sent me a nice...
Can't wait for the technical difficulties on those records.
No?
Really?
I mean, do I have a lot of technical difficulties on my end?
You've been known to test a 1, 2. Oh, God, look at the hair.
Look at the... You guys, I'm so sorry. I hate that feeling of being late. Oh, I thought it was 10:30.
Yeah. Well,
it wasn't.
Look at your calendar. Does it say 10:15?
Let me look.
Take a look right now.
I'm going to look right now. It says, you know what, guys? It says 10:15.
Yeah,
no, it does.
Well, you're just still kind of a little bit on a sugar high from last night from Scotty's big birthday soiree. Was it an ice cream party?
You guys,
Did you get into a sundae? Did you end up?
No, I did. I opted not to. I had, I made him a cake with some stupid picture of himself on the top of the cake.
From the $20 cake lady?
Yes, she's amazing.
Yeah,
and
heard.
And I said, Scotty goes, how big a piece do you want? I go, I'm not even kidding. Cut me half of the cake.
Did you eat the full half?
Yeah, I ate the whole half.
How about if you see, I'm not even kidding, cut me the whole half, and he goes, I didn't think you were kidding. I know you.
Sean, what would you do if, let's say, Steven Spielberg called you today and he said, listen, Sean, I need you for this part, and the guy,
The Machinist 2.
No, but he's a lifeguard at a pool. And and there's lots of dialogue that talks about how sculpted his body. How long do you think it would be possible for you at all? This is for Steven Spielberg.
What if he then said, and you're like, oh, I'll get in shape. You go, no, that's for the other guy. We need somebody to play the flotation device.
But would you take on a role where you had to get to sculpted shape and you only had a month to do it?
Well, now that's an interesting question because I always say, like, I've lost weight for health reasons or whatever in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And knowing that I can do it that fast makes me not do it.
When did you try that, though? As we get older, it gets exponentially
Yeah,
harder.
it's so much harder now.
Yeah.
Trust me.
All right. Well, you guys would know.
Neither one of you guys are out of shape. But I'm just saying, you love your treats. You couldn't have any treats.
But wait till you see the documentary that we filmed because I'm fat as a house.
No, you're not.
Oh,
How
yeah.
dare you say
No, you're
that
not.
about
Hey, but here's the
yourself.
other thing. Jay, I will say this. You like your treats too. You just deprive yourself. You live in a state of absolute deprivation because
That's what blows my mind is like you
the warden has you on a pretty tight sketch.
Oh, she sure does.
And she shames you. I've seen her shame you on food, especially on a Saturday night. Remember somebody brought that gooey cake a couple weeks ago on the Saturday night, and they amongst the treats, and it was so good.
I brought those.
No. You didn't bring.
No, you didn't.
No.
You brought a bag of cookies from the back of your pantry that was shattered. Every single cookie was in
You brought a bag of Tates.
Yeah, Tate's that had been dropped behind your car. You backed up to pick it up, accidentally ran it over, then grabbed it, then brought it and dumped it into a bowl as dessert.
Kind of true.
You're like, hey guys, I brought a really special dessert, and he brought it. The Tate's like, oh cool, we can all go to Safeway, man. We know where to shop. Like, what are you doing? Anyway.
No, listen, this is what, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying somebody else's guest brought these gooey chocolate, like a cake type brownie thing. And Jason really liked it, and he took a couple bites. And then the warden shot him a look.
I looked up and found the warden's eyes.
She was like, she's going to
your
throw
wife,
him in the hole for 10 days. He's going.
Listen, this is, my life would be a disaster without my better half, okay?
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
But now look at this. I'm drinking tea,
Mm-hmm.
and it tastes like candy because I put like 4 packs of sugar in it and cream.
Yeah.
Because you still didn't have enough sweet in your palate from last night?
You know, Sean, can I just say this? And I don't want to plug this brand, but they're really good. I use that Trulia now, which is like a natural, like it's a sweetener, but it's
Stevia.
Yeah.
You mean the ones with carcinogens in them?
No,
No,
none at
stevia,
all.
it's a plant, ding dong.
Hey, listen.
So stevia is the best.
Listen, when I'm one of the people giving a eulogy, saying like he was really concerned about carcinogens, how'd he die of his fucking raging diabetes? But man, he was worried about the carcinogens. It's fucking like
I know, it's bad.
it's so nice try.
It's really bad.
Well, let me tell you about somebody who just seems incredibly healthy. All right?
Uh-huh.
Her whole thing is just a healthy glow. Her talent just radiates health and
You're so lazy.
I'm
Yeah,
lazy.
you're so into
You're
it.
so lazy.
I was trying to blend. Wasn't that a nice transition? Here we go. Guys,
Oh my God. Start at the top.
I gotta just let her take over because she's the best.
Never seen you
I've
phone it.
I know I'm not phoning anything in. I'm
No,
I'm
not about
pissed
her,
off
just-
about
I
something
know.
this morning, and I don't want to drag it into the podcast.
Don't.
Okay.
We have one of our best actors going. All right. She's been doing incredible work for about 25 years, yet she's more than 10 years younger than all of us. All right. She's got 2 Emmys, 2 Globes, 2 SAGs, 2 Critics' Choice Awards.
What?
She's an LA native. She's got a
What?
British dad, a Swedish mom. She's got a Chinese parrot that speaks Dutch. She
Wait,
can explain.
what?
This is Elisabeth Moss, everybody.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my God.
Oh my gosh, do I love you.
Elizabeth
Hi.
Moss.
So cool. Elizabeth, I'm sorry I
I'm
was late.
so fascinated about the Chinese duck or parrot that speaks Dutch. It's just
Ducks don't talk.
Wikipedia's. No, I know.
Oh my gosh,
Wikipedia
it's so
is
nice to meet you.
always accurate. It's so nice to meet you.
She's got real fancy lights in her shot, guys.
I
She
know.
lives in a nice home.
They're a little much. I will say, Sean, though, I did have a piece of cake last night, and I was here on time.
Wow, good for you.
It's because you didn't have
Good
half a
for-
cake. You just had a
Good
piece.
for you. I love
Very
that.
good.
Elizabeth, the last time I saw you, we kissed.
Oh,
That's right.
Yeah.
We should just leave it there.
Just don't
Yeah,
don't
next
explain.
question.
Explain anything else. Just
What
leave
were you
that right
celebrating last night? The memory of that kiss with Will Arnett? What was
there.
the cake for?
Yes. Absolutely no reason whatsoever except I wanted cake. So
Really?
I ordered cake. Yeah.
Wait, like an Uber Eats order cake?
Yeah.
Come on.
Seamless. Yeah, from Magnolia Bakery.
You just ordered cake.
Yeah. I was
love that.
craving cake, like that icing that they have.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I live in New York, and I was like, you know what? I can have that if I want. So I ordered it.
Do you take care of yourself like that? Like when you want something and you say, like, I'm going to treat myself. I'm just going to go ahead and do it.
For the most part, not so much when I'm working. I'm a little bit more. I try to be a little bit healthier and a little bit more conducive to the hours.
No, what do you mean? Like
but-
other treats, even like just like you know what? I've always liked that car. I'm going to get that car. Or look at that nice blouse, Sean. You know, like Sean does not walk by a blouse he doesn't love. He will not pass.
Never
it.
met one.
I
Never
hear
met
you.
one.
I hear you. I think everything in moderation is okay.
I know,
Yeah.
but you know what?
What's moderation?
But isn't it kind of because my brain goes, well, gosh, I was so deprived as a kid because the way we grew up that
There we
now
go.
I'm like, I'm an adult and I can't stop that thing in my head that says I can have anything I want to eat whenever I want it. Like I don't need permission.
We're lucky.
Yep. It's not even about the thing itself. It was just about the fact that I could order it if I wanted to, and it would come, and then I could eat it.
That's
What
right.
were you watching on TV when the cake arrived?
Real Housewives of New York City.
Here we
What?
go. I want to know about all the guilty pleasures. So have you done all the regions? Have you done Atlanta?
A little bit. I've dabbled in everything, but New York and New Jersey are the ones I've really focused on, and New York is definitely the one I've watched multiple times.
Jersey
Can-
does
can we
give
just-
a lot
can
of
we just
color, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Pause
I mean,
for a second.
it
Just
really
do
does.
we? What kind of cake was it? I'm interested. Like given that you have every opportunity to order any
Any
flavor.
cake.
Yeah. Which one do
Any
you get?
cake in the world. It was just the Magnolia Bakery, the just the white cake
Yes.
with the buttercream frosting.
You could have
Wow.
stopped
The
at Magnolia
classic.
Bakery. It's the
Really?
Now
best.
It's
those
the
are
best.
cupcakes, though, right?
Yeah, but they also have slices of cake if you don't want to mess around with a cupcake.
Same
they-
thing,
you
different
just
shape.
Give you exactly same.
Yeah,
thing.
but I'm
Like
listen. I
Taco
love
Bell.
cake as well. It sounds like you love cake, and I like that about you. I'm a big cake person, and when I hear people saying like they don't like cake, I just think, what's wrong with you?
Well, I prefer pie.
Really?
Okay, so
no.
yeah, I mean
No.
that exactly. That's a great
Well,
example.
What kind of pie?
Hot
Any kind of
fruit.
pie.
Hot
I thought you were going to say, what
hot-
kind of monster are you?
Well, pie. I do like a fruit pie, but I like the crispy, hot crust. You know, I don't
Right.
like
but
soft.
warm fruit is disgusting.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I like pie. I like pie a lot, and I love like an apple brown Betty, something like that. Boy, that's good.
a
Apple
crumble?
crisp, whatever,
What about a crumble?
Sure.
Right.
What about a pecan?
Yeah.
Oh
bring it.
yeah, pecan. Nothing worse for you than a pecan pie.
Why?
That's the fattiest dessert you can have. Absolutely.
Nothing
Really?
tastes better.
Yeah.
good.
It's so sugary and fatty.
Wait. Now, Elizabeth, do you know this deal with now? If you knew this, you might not get a slice next time. You get a real cupcake where you take the top of a cupcake, you twist it so that it
yeah.
separates from the bottom, flip it over, make a sandwich out of it, and then you don't get the
I
frosting
didn't
up
know
the
that.
nose.
That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
that's advanced level.
Yeah, I think I got that on Reddit. Yeah,
I'll do it tonight.
yeah.
love
That's I've been eating cupcakes wrong for years.
So Elizabeth, where are you? Do people call you Liz? Do you hate
Lizzy.
Beth?
Lizzy.
That's
Lizzie's
what people
perfect.
call you, Lizzy.
It's so nice to meet you, Sean.
You too. I'm such a big fan.
Same.
Give it another few minutes.
Wait, and so you grew up in LA? I didn't know that.
I did. I grew up in LA till I was about 19, and then I moved to New York. So I've lived in New York for over 20 years now.
Where in
She
LA
went there
did
to
you-
study dance, guys.
Mm-hmm.
She went to New York to study dance.
Oh, New York, I mean.
Ask her about dance. Ask her about ballet,
Yeah.
pursuing a ballet career, and then acting got in the way. Go ahead.
I didn't know you knew so much about me, Jason.
Yeah.
Wait, do you still do ballet? Do you still dance?
No, I wish.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you can dance if you want to.
You can leave your
No.
friends
Song.
behind.
So you're studying dance and ballet specifically in New York,
Yeah.
and then what was the acting pursuit just something like, oh, maybe I can book a few commercials and pay for some rent while I'm studying dance, or what? How did it come about?
It was kind of a 50-50. I loved both of them. And I started acting when I was really young. But acting's easier to kind of keep up than dancing. Dancing, you have to go, obviously, every day. And it becomes your
Also,
life.
there's a finite,
Exactly. And so at about 15, I had the choice of whether or not to carry on and go to a school year round and look at joining a company and everything. 15, which isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
Now
crazy.
looking back, you're like, Jesus, I was a child.
I said this on the podcast before.
Then don't say it again. Why would you repeat yourself? What the fuck?
Because Elisabeth hasn't heard
Yeah,
it.
okay, great.
I
Waste
can see
Lizzy's
why
time.
Sean didn't want to come. He said, I want to show
It's a
up.
tough
for
crowd.
this.
I used to do stand-up in L.A., and one of my first opening jokes, it was terrible, was, they say doing ballet is one of the most difficult things you could ever do, so I say just don't do it.
Oh boy.
And then when do you tell the joke after that? When's the joke coming?
I like it. I would have laughed.
Okay, so wait.
So yeah, when I was 15, I decided I had some sort of mature thinking and thought, gosh, if I keep doing this, if I'm lucky, if I don't get injured, if I'm successful at all, I'll be done by 35?
Yeah.
And now that I'm 40, I'm so glad that I had that sort of decision and made the right one. And I couldn't leave acting either. It was sort of one of those, I could think about a life without ballet, but I couldn't imagine not acting. Acting felt like who I was. And ballet felt like something I was doing.
Well, what was your first professional acting gig?
I think I did like a couple commercials when I was like really little. And then I think my first real professional gig was this Lifetime movie called Lucky Chances.
Chances. Oh, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Sean's familiar. And it was, I played a girl whose mom died, and my mom was one of your former guests, Sandra Bullock.
Come on.
No way.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You played your mom.
Yeah,
Wow.
she played my mom, and I had to find her dead, face down in the pool. And I was like 6 or 7 years old, and I was like, this is awesome. I love this. Let's keep doing this.
So you were 6 or 7 years old. She was dead in a pool. You're 40. She was your mom. I'm sure she's going to love this story.
Yeah, she's gonna love it a lot.
I've never talked to her
She's
about
only
it.
42 or 43.
It's
Yeah.
extraordinary.
You've never talked to her about it?
No, I haven't. And I've met her briefly backstage at like a thing, and I'm so intimidated by her because I
my
love her
God.
so much.
Sweetest,
Yeah.
greatest,
Greatest.
nicest ever.
I know, and that's what I've heard, and I just have never had the balls to bring it up.
We'll be right back. SmartLess is supported in part by Delta Airlines. Whenever I travel, I come home, I feel like a new person. Like, that feeling when you land back into your hometown and you're driving from the airport back home, and then you get into your apartment or your house or whatever, and you're just like, oh my God, I'm finally back home. When you travel well, you arrive feeling better than when you left. Isn't that how every trip should be? With new premium experiences on the ground and in the air, Delta Airlines raises the bar sky high. Because it's not about where you're going, it's about how much you enjoy the journey. Wherever you travel, a better experience awaits with Delta Airlines. They've partnered with Peloton to offer a new Classes in the Clouds collection featuring guided breathing exercises and stretches led by Peloton instructors. New plant-based dishes provide more sustainable alternatives for in-flight dining, along with organic, gluten-free, nutrient-packed snacks. And select Delta Sky clubs offer locally sourced food and beverages through Delta's Fresh Farm program. With Delta Airlines, you'll enjoy premium products that are better for people and the planet. Delta One's bedding sets are now made with more than 100 recycled plastic bottles each and stowed away in new reusable bedding bags. Wherever life takes you, travel well with Delta Airlines. Visit delta.com/travelwell to learn more. SmartLess listeners, this episode is brought to you by Zelle. Hey, when anyone sends you money or if you need to get paid back, always ask for Zelle. With Zelle, the money goes straight into your bank account. You don't have to download another app because it's probably already in your banking app. It's in over 1,600 different banking apps, and it works even if the sender banks somewhere different than you in the U.S. Jason, Will, and I use Zelle to pay each other back all the time. So we have a friend that has been in the hospital recently. He's doing fine. And we all decided to send him meals when he goes home just to make it easy for him so he doesn't have to go out, he doesn't have to cook, whatever. So we're taking turns to send on different nights, different dinners and stuff that he can keep in the fridge. So I bought all of them, like every single night of the week. And then Jason and Will used Zelle to pay me back. It's that simple. Look for Zelle in your banking app today. Hey, SmartLess listener, we get support from FanDuel. Football season is underway big time, so now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just sign up with promo code SmartLess. I mentioned this before that I'm really, really into football. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I really am. I think it's the most exciting sport to watch. I kind of get really into it when I have to stand up if I get nervous, and I walk around and I pace around the living room and I really, really scream too loud, and Scotty gets mad, and it's a long story. But FanDuel has all your favorite bets from the money line to point spreads to player props. The app is safe, secure, and super easy to use, and you get your winnings paid fast. So sign up today with promo code SmartLess for your no-sweat first bet. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus exclusions apply. See show notes for full disclaimer.
Back to the show.
Now, here's what I don't understand is, as you were saying, as an actor, you can age into all kinds of roles. Like, you're never too old to be an actor because you just play older parts.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't that be the case with dancing? Wouldn't you love to see some sort of dancing company of people north of 50?
Yeah, and they
it'd be comedic. Right?
Doing the box step. That's all I can do.
How dare you?
Well,
comedic.
High jumps and stuff. You're waiting for an injury.
More napping.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on ABC. It's called Dancing with the Stars.
Nice, Sean.
Really good, Sean.
Okay, so thanks, guys. Elizabeth, wait, I just had this conversation with a friend of mine the other day about parenting and like this friend of mine, I see him at the gym. He's got 2 kids. He's a super nice guy. And he sang a little bit.
Oh, that's what you do at the gym.
Yeah.
You talk to people.
And he sang a little bit. And I go, oh, you actually can sing. Like, you have a nice voice. He goes, yeah, shh, don't tell anybody. I go, what do you mean? He goes, it just makes me shy. I go, no, you need to sing in front of your kids. You need to, like, let them know that you can be expressive and extroverted and fearless and all of those things. So did you have, because for kids to dance, I think, is very intimidating. So did you have parents that kind of expressed themselves to you to let you know it was safe to do so?
Yeah, my parents are both musicians, and the whole family is in the music business, but jazz and blues. And so it wasn't so much about expressing yourself. It was just about being an artist was very acceptable. Being anything else would have been weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and practicing and rehearsing and discipline was something that was very much understood in my household. So going to class every day was something very normal. That was what you did.
Yeah.
You picked a vocation and you became really good at it.
Yeah.
Or you didn't do it. Not that was ever spoken. It's just sort of in retrospect what I can see.
Yeah.
But everyone was always playing an instrument. We were always going to shows. My first memories were, going to the Greek Theater, the Beacon, or Blue Note, New York. Like it was just what I thought life was. Everyone was a musician.
My oldest brother, Dennis, he allowed his kids to write on the walls anywhere in the house with crayons anytime they wanted. Wow. And it was him and his wife. It was like, she's like, what are you doing? He's like, you can just paint over it. Let them just draw on the walls.
That's really
They were divorced shortly after that, I think, right?
Isn't that kind of interesting?
Kids are all in jail. Did
I
you?
think it's sweet.
But Lizzy, are your parents still with us?
Yes.
And are they still performing as musicians? Are they still still active in their music?
Here and there.
Yeah.
My mom it's pretty cool actually. My mom is a blues harmonica player. Wow. And to be a female blues harmonica player is actually really rare. Yeah. And she's really, really good. She doesn't gig as much anymore, but she still plays and she's really good.
That's pretty awesome.
And your dad, what does your dad play?
Trombone.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Do they have a 2-man show?
No.
I would like to see that.
That's pretty cool.
Jason used to have a real rusty trombone you used to play, right? Hey, but let me ask you this, Lizzy. The other question
seriously,
is,
folks.
but they perform jazz.
Yep.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about, are you a fan of, everybody, are you guys all fans of jazz music?
I don't
You
love
open it up to the room. Well, yeah.
I am.
I'm not a jazz fan, but I feel like I'm just one documentary away from being a big
Yeah, I appreciate the talent, but I like something to sing back, and a lot of times when they're riffing for 2 hours, I can't find a melody.
Yet Sean and I both love classical music.
I haven't decided. I can't figure out where I should land on it. I can't figure out if it's cool or not cool to like jazz. So I'm still trying to decide, and I'm waiting. I'm just sort of trying to garner a consensus whether I should be.
We need to watch Ken Burns' documentary. And
I mean, the Ken Burns. I was going to say the Ken Burns
but that's not
documentary.
going to decide it for me. I need people like I need
Amazing.
like Steve Malkmus to say if it's cool or not from Pavement, and then I'll be like, yeah, I like it.
Jazz is cool for sure.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
That.
It's
Okay.
very cool.
But it's an
You're
acquired.
cool, so I believe you.
Thank you.
Yes.
A lot of it's an acquired taste when you get into like the real deep jazz, the real stuff, and the improv and everything. It's not for everybody. But I grew up on it, so I understand it and love it. And to me, it's very normal sounding. When I was little, I was the one listening to Ella Fitzgerald, and I mean, I was very
I love
like,
that.
yes, exactly.
I love
like,
that because they're singers. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like that was where I really landed was with the crooners and with Gershwin
for
and all
sure,
of that.
yes,
And I
100%.
could like I memorized all the Gershwin songs when I was like,
Love.
5 years old. So I had no idea when I was a teenager like who Nirvana was, but I could absolutely sing, any Gershwin tune. So that was where I landed.
Did you ever go to Jazz Fest down in New
No,
Orleans?
I've never been. I've been to New Orleans a lot, but I haven't been to Jazz Fest. It's supposed to be great.
Do you play? I missed it. Do you play something?
No, I don't. I kind of learned the piano for a role later. I learned piano and guitar, but just for that movie.
Yeah.
But no, I never really learned anything because in my family, you got really good at something. So if you didn't have time to practice every day, you might as well just forget about it.
Sean, do you wish in your family people had gotten good at stuff?
Or at least decent.
Or just showed up?
So we're in New York, and we're getting some traction in acting. When did you feel the first real shift and like, oh, here comes possibly a career in acting? Was it West Wing?
I guess it was kind of West Wing, or Girl Interrupted. This film I did when I was, I think I was like 15 or 16. Yeah, because there were all these great women in that. And, Winona Ryder, Angelina Jolie, Brittany Murphy, Clea Duvall, who I got to work with again later. And so that was kind of the one where I was like, Whoopi Goldberg was in it. Where I was like, oh, this is something I think I'm good at and really fit well in. And then, the West Wing was like my first like regular job where I felt I had, a place and a kind of started to have a community and a group and with all those guys, even though I was just reoccurring, and I was quite young. I was 17 when I started on that
It was
show.
high profile. I bet you started to get stopped on the street and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah, I did.
How did you adapt to that? Was that odd?
It was only odd because I was in the first 2 seasons a lot. The first 4, the Aaron Sorkin seasons, I was in more, and I would get stopped and asked questions about things I didn't know the answers to, and because I wasn't.
How much
really on the
mushrooms
show
does
that
Aaron
much.
Sorkin do? And you're like, I don't know.
God.
Ask TSA. They're the ones that went through his bag.
Luckily, they were not asking.
I had him booked for next week. Never mind.
They're not asking my 18-year-old self that.
It's okay. He's never hired me anyway. He doesn't give a shit what I say.
Same.
But then Mad Men. And Lizzy, can I just say, I watched, and that we're friends with John too and all that. I watched Mad Men. I kind of let it build up for a couple seasons before I got into it. And I watched it all the way through. And you are simply unbelievably fantastic in that.
Incredible.
You are,
Thank you.
Lizzy, and I've known you a couple years or what, and I don't know if I've ever actually said that to you, but I can't believe, even when I think about what you did and some of the moves that you have and what you do in that show, I found it mesmerizing. I find it really,
thanks.
really,
She
truly.
knows what she's doing.
That's so
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow, I really appreciate that. And no, you have never said
I know.
that to me,
Well,
so
because I
thank
was
you.
embarrassed.
And
I
then
don't want,
click,
you know what I
and
mean?
you just slam your laptop down.
I got what I came for.
Wait, she's leaving.
Now, Top of the Lake, which is one of my favorites, was
thanks.
right after that.
It was in the middle. It was
Middle
in the
of
middle
it.
of that.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I think
God.
it was like season 4 or 5 of Mad Men that I went to go
Wow.
do that in between.
I also love that. That
Yeah.
was really good too.
And you go down to New Zealand to do that, right?
Yeah, that was crazy because I'd gotten kind of more famous for Peggy, and people really liked her. And that was the time actually that I discovered that I could sort of do another character. Didn't know really whether or not I was just really good at Peggy, and that was my thing. And wow, I mean, how amazing just to be on that one good show. Like that's more than so many people ever get. So this was like a kind of a test for myself as well of could I go and do something else that was completely different with the accent. It was a completely different tone. The character was completely different. And it was hard. It was a very challenging role too. So that was kind of for me, the step in my career that was like, oh, okay, I think I can do this and then I could go do that and I could make a real meal out of this.
Top of the Lake was like my North Star for Ozark because I was trying to build a look and a feel for the show. And then also fell in love with Peter Mullen.
God.
And he was my second call right after Laura Linney.
How about that?
To get in the show. I mean,
Really?
I never knew that, and that makes
cool.
total sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
That's really cool.
Even your title card, which is just 5 seconds long. You know, like there's no opening credits. It's just that 5-second thing, and so that's why it's so. It's a huge inspiration for me.
That's
I made everybody
amazing.
watch
Really
that.
interesting.
Well, you say inspiration. They say lawsuit because, judging by, and I'm just going
Jane
off
Campion is real
what
litigious.
Deadline is saying right now already.
She loves a lawsuit.
But then you go, but then you go, you do Top of the Lake, which I also thought was incredible. And for me, what it made me do was like Google, I guess it was like, what part of
New Zealand?
New Zealand was that? It was in
New Zealand, Queenstown.
Queenstown. God, and I was like, wow, look at this place. It looks incredible. And
Oh
then
God, it's so beautiful.
Then you go and do Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
And as a Canadian, I feel a sort of sense of ownership on that book because, Margaret Atwood is a great Canadian author, and we all read it in school, so quite familiar with it. I was like, this Lizzy Moss, I mean, there ain't nothing she can't do, but we're going to find it. We're going to find the thing she can't do before it's all over.
Why would you want to do that? That sounds
because
destructive.
Now, did you read the book on that and pursue it, or did the script come to you as an offer, or did you audition? Like, how'd that come about?
So I was doing the second season of Top of the Lake in Sydney.
Yeah.
And it came my way as a script.
Yeah.
And I had read the book years ago, but sort of didn't, really remember it that well. So I read the script with sort of fresh eyes, which was great. And Mad Men had only finished like a year before or something. So I really didn't intend to get into another series.
Yeah.
I was sort of doing the thing of, I'm now going to go and have all of this time. But then I read this script and it was so good. And then I said, can I see the second one? And I read the second one and I was like, fuck, it's even better. So I got on the phone with Hulu and with Bruce, and then I said, I want sort of a Warren Littlefield type to come and do this, and because I was obsessed with Fargo, and they said, well, what if we brought you Warren Littlefield? And then Warren and I got on the phone, and he was sort of like I'll do it if you do it kind of thing.
Love him.
Yeah, and since then he's been sort of my producing mentor. I love him so much.
He's the reason Will and Grace happened.
Yeah,
Yes,
Warren was like a
that's
big
right.
dad figure to Sean and I in our NBC years.
Of
He was big cheese.
But also, you go to do a show for a streamer and you don't know if they're going to do. I mean, like at that point, and it worked out, and like Hulu, it worked out.
Wait,
Hulu.
did you, Sean? Did
And
you
my
hear
ballet joke was bad.
Oh, listen, he loves Hulu sashimi.
Sashimi.
But the thing was I wasn't scared of that because of Mad Men. First of all, West Wing, NBC wasn't doing a show like that, and then that did well. And then Mad Men was on AMC, which nobody knew what that was, and everybody thought we were on A&E.
Yeah, it takes one show.
Then Top of the Lake was on Sundance, which nobody knew what that was. And so I wasn't scared of the new place. I actually really like new places because I feel like you have this space to prove yourself as opposed to chasing a high that they've experienced. You get to be the one that goes in. They don't really know what they're doing yet or who they are, so they're kind of willing to take more risks.
I like that. I just said to somebody the other day, dawned on me, I'm 52, and withhold. Yeah, okay. Keep going. All the wow, I can't believe it. All that. But let me just. I realized the other day. I thought I actually people go like, I hate change. I'm nervous of change. I'm not nervous of change or risk. I'm not risk averse at all. I love change. Are you scared of change?
No, not at all. I mean, doesn't it, I don't know how you guys feel, but doesn't it kind of come with this lifestyle career in the sense of
There's nothing consistent about it.
there's nothing consistent about it. There's no
Yeah.
regular job. And of course, you get to a place where you feel more secure, hopefully, but there's no consistency and we're all used to we're circus people. We're used to moving somewhere for 6 months and developing a life there and then leaving and never seeing those people again. And it's so I think we're all kind of embrace change.
Did some of that sort of knowledge of how sort of fickle this business is lead to your incredible diversification of your capital, your access in this business with all the producing and the directing that you're doing? Are those pure pursuits? You really love directing, love producing, or is it a combo of all that stuff?
It's probably more of the latter. It's a bit of a combo, but more of the latter. I kind of fell into it. Not by chance, it was by choice, but on Handmaids, they asked me to be a producer. Yeah. And I said, okay, but I don't want it if it's just a title and you're just going to put the thing up there and I don't really get to do anything or say anything. I said, so I'd like to really, I remember talking to Warren about it. I said, I'd like to really learn how to do this. I'd like to learn from you. I'd like to learn from the people who are better at this. And then I started to learn and I started to really love it. Yeah. And I loved the involvement it gave me on a creative level, not on a control level. I loved how I got to learn so much about, after 30 years doing this, I was learning parts of the job that I had no idea about. Yeah. And then same thing with directing. I loved the show so much, It's my baby. And after 3 years of making it, I just wanted to tell the story myself. I wanted to embrace another part of telling the story. I had no designs on becoming a director. It wasn't something that I thought, this is the end game. This is what I can do to keep my career going.
But it's something you're really loving and doing more of, yeah?
I really love it.
Yeah,
that's so great.
I really do. It's so great.
Who's your go-to lieutenant in your team, your immediate team there? Your first AD, your DP, your camera operator, or your cast? Where do you find yourself gravitating with directing?
That's such a good question. The DP, I think, for me, just because that's the person. I really love the visual aspect of it. And we're a very visual show.
Yeah, it's so cinematic. It's beautiful.
Yeah, well, thank you. So that was actually how I kind of got into the idea of directing, was shadowing directors and dealing with them so much as they were prepping episodes. And I would always be there and we'd have meetings at my house or their house. And I was very involved and I was learning without realizing I was learning. And we always included the DP because we believe that it's very important that the DP knows what the scene is about and what you're trying to accomplish.
That's smart.
And so through that, I got more and more and more into the visual side of it. So yeah, I would say the DP, especially on our show, which is so, and also the locations department. Our locations department is absolutely incredible. And we're very—
Where do you guys shoot?
Toronto.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, yeah, you can go over there, eh? If you guys want to shoot, we found a nice parking lot over here, eh? Yeah, she looks pretty good. Fuck, we'll shovel that snow out quick and you can get the trucks in there, no problem. Set up a base.
Lastly, on directing.
But Jason, I was going to say to you, because that is a good question. That's interesting, because I know Sean and I talked about it, and he said he directed that one thing, and he said that he really leaned hard on catering. So, but for you...
you got to keep the crew happy. Good for you, Sean.
Yeah,
I mean, that was the most important thing. He'd call him every shot. He'd be like, where are you setting up catering? They're like, Sean, it's in the shot. He's like, it's okay. We'll paint it out. We'll paint it out.
I'm not walking more than 10 steps.
But Jay, who do you lean on, Jay? I'm actually curious.
I don't know. Pete Thorell is a first AD that I've worked with a ton, and I just think that he's just incredible at what he does. He does so many things he's not even paid to do with every department, and he's just sort of like the secret weapon.
But is that because it's him, or is that your go-to?
AD is assistant director.
I do think the first AD is. I mean, the first AD is, in my opinion, the most important person on the set. They're running everything, and if into it, if they don't create a good harmonious,
so true.
it's just
Sean,
you know.
Sean, you started to say for Tracy. So for Tracy, the first AD is the assistant director.
It's sort of a misnomer. You know, they're not really assisting the director. They're running the set.
They run the entire set. They're the quarterback.
And when you have a bad experience, that's when you really know how valuable they are. How valuable a good one is, because they can just take the whole thing down.
Yeah,
and everybody takes advantage, and it's just it's a mess.
And it all falls apart, and it starts
we
in
need you on
prep.
set. I need 10 minutes, and then they're like, ugh.
And you can tell a set that you show up on that has a really great, strong first AD. You're like, oh, this is going to be a good experience.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. You know, recently I was in a situation where my character was in question. And I didn't know how to handle it. It was kind of felt attacked, and it was very, very personal to me. So I spoke to a therapist, and she gave me the great advice of, you know, when you switch your mind, instead of in panic mode and like freaking out, you calm your brain a little bit and have the tools to know how to calm your brain. You can come at a problem with a clearer head and more solutions. And that's exactly what happened in my situation. And it totally helped, and everything got better, and life went on. And it was just a little bump in the road. And that's how therapy can work, and it really does. It can be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when faced with a challenge in life. But when you learn how to find your own solutions, there's no better feeling. A therapist can help you become a better problem solver, making it easier to accomplish your goals, no matter how big or small. If you're thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, accessible, affordable, and entirely online. Get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey, and switch therapists anytime. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/smartless today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/smartless. Big thanks to Verizon for their support. Ever notice how sometimes at stores you only get a discount if you buy in bulk? Like a box of mac and cheese is one price, but if you buy 5 boxes, then each box costs less than it did on its own. Because like right now, if you open up my pantry, I have, like 20 boxes of mac and cheese. That's a different ad. Well, I don't need 5 boxes of mac and cheese. I need 1, maybe 20. It's the same with wireless. Big carriers offer discounts on family plans, but that means you have to bring a lot of people with you. And if you only need 1 line, you definitely don't get that bulk discount. That's what makes Visible Wireless great, and why we've talked about them recently. Get this, they offer a 1-line wireless plan with unlimited data and 5G for just $30 a month, taxes and fees included. No catch, no annual contracts, no extra fees, and they're powered by Verizon. Yep, you heard that right. So you can stream, browse, call, and text all you want thanks to Visible. Switch today at Visible.com. For data management practices, learn more at Visible.com. Additional terms apply. Thanks to one of our newest sponsors, the Gemological Institute of America, for supporting the show. The Hope Diamond, the Idol's Eye, the Taylor Burton. These aren't just titles of my albums. Some of the most famous diamonds in the world have the same names, and they've been graded by the Gemological Institute of America, GIA. They're a long-standing scientific authority on diamonds and creators of the Diamond 4 Cs. Maybe you've heard of them: cut, clarity, color, and carat. I can imagine the process of buying a diamond can feel intimidating or overwhelming, because most people don't sit down and study gems and cuts of diamonds and what to do for your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever, if you want to get them a ring with diamond or diamond studs or whatever. It can be, I can't imagine, it can be overwhelming. GIA grades the most precious diamonds in the world, including yours. Each diamond graded by GIA comes with a report with information about your diamond, including the 4 Cs. Buy with confidence by choosing a diamond graded by the experts at GIA. Find out more at GIA.edu. One more time, that's GIA.edu.
And now, back to the show.
Lastly, on the directing thing, Lizzy, what is your favorite thing that a director can do, and what's your least favorite thing? And working with all the great directors that you've worked with, and without naming any names, like the thing that you're avoiding when you're directing because you've seen someone else do it, and on the other side, the thing that you like to do because you've seen it done really well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I
Well, so just to repeat,
the time to think about my answer. Yeah, could you repeat that? Please?
That's part of the madness, Sean. I'd like to give the answerer, that's a word, right? Time to...
Your own answer is included in this question.
He knows exactly what he's doing. He's
I give them one they can use if they like.
If he were in a court of law, the judge would be like, every time they'd be like, Your Honor, leading the way. Every single time they'd be like, just ask the question.
I'm the worst.
What do you like? Just go like, what do you like? What's your favorite? And then that's it. Not
Right.
or is it and is it. She'll tell you.
Yeah. All right. Liz, I'm sorry.
Do we have
Listen.
time for me to answer? Okay, well, I'll start with my favorite thing, which comes to mind easier. And this I learned from Jane, I think, just the atmosphere created on set. That she
For which show? Sorry, for which show?
For Top of the Lake.
Top of the Lake.
Jane Campion.
Yeah, so she just had this ability to create an atmosphere on set that you never felt rushed, you never felt under pressure. I mean, with, given, there were some times, but just in general, you always felt like you had time to rehearse if you wanted to or ask questions. There was just no ticking clock. And to do that, now that I am on the other side, I know how difficult that actually is to do. And
because you're almost suppressing your own anxiety.
Oh my God,
or your,
of course. And like that.
Tick, 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 tick,
yeah.
tick.
And this actor has a question. You're like, Jesus Christ, we're not going to get the scene. And so I know how difficult it actually is now, but she just did it so flawlessly. And I'm not as good at it as she is by any means, but it is something I kind of try to keep reminding myself to do. And you have to. So I think the answer to the other question is just the reverse of that, Jason. Yes, is somebody who is clearly anxious, I mean, the worst thing that can possibly happen is after you do a take, a director just sort of sits there and doesn't sort of know what to say, and there's that awful kind of thing where they're like, okay, let's just go again. Let's just try it. And that's the worst, you know?
Because it's different than what they thought it was going to be, and they can't figure out whether that means it's wrong or not.
Right. And they just don't know how to fix it if they do need to fix it. And should they just move on and maybe they're thinking about how they can cut around it and, So.
You know what I want? I want to veer off of this for just a second.
Okay.
I want to talk to you, Lizzy, about vacation. What do you do on your time off? Because your resume
You just grabbed the wheel and just drove us off a fucking cliff. What's going on?
Put us in the back seat and...
What? Have you ever been in a conversation
we're talking
before?
shop, Sean.
What are you... fucking
It's the business tree, right? That's the new name of the podcast.
Cupcakes and vacays.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so
I like
would you rather sun or snow for the vacation?
Sun,
God,
for sure.
Yeah.
With that skin of yours, it's perfect.
Yeah, big hats.
Sun, although I haven't gone on a proper vacation in a little bit. And recently, the last vacation I took was to Paris over Christmas and New Year's last year, which is neither sun nor snow.
Right.
But absolutely wonderful, of course.
Do you speak French?
No, I do not. But I have to learn for my next role.
Really?
Yeah,
What's
I have
that?
to do a British accent and also
that's
learn
lunch, guys.
French.
So you're playing a Frenchie in your next thing.
I'm playing a British person who speaks French.
Who speaks French?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
There's Mark Chappell. Mark Chappell's a British person who speaks French. He can
It's
help you.
once an episode, Chappie gets mentioned.
Sure, Chappie gets
Is it
lot
a
of
bet
reference.
you guys are in, or
No, he's a great guy.
But Lizzy, I went on vacation with Jason this summer. We went to the
You sure
Bahamas.
did.
And we went, every time we would go into the ocean, my pasty white skin I would just wear my bathing shorts,
and my
right?
pasties would come off?
and Jason looked like he was gardening in the ocean. Like he had this massive straw hat on that
That's
covered his
smart,
whole
though.
body.
You know why?
Shirt.
Because I have a smart other half.
Yeah, but long sleeve shirt, super long shorts, and still like the sun just finds him.
Well, listen, when he gets hit by a bus next week, it's going to make a big difference. Hey.
It's smart, though. It's important to
That's
protect
smart.
against
Sure.
things.
We'll bury him with that fucking hat. Listen. We went on vacation with the kids and stuff a few years ago, and everybody's like, we're all in the water. There are like 15 of us, except for at the end, there's Jason fully covered from
That's
ankle
what I'm saying.
to wrist, and with the hat lifting like this.
Do you
It's
burn,
true.
Jason? Is this a?
I have
what's the
burned before,
concern?
but also panel. I have had sun cancer removed from my face.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
It's awkward.
Yeah.
When was that?
Oh, I don't bother people with my near-death experiences.
We've really stepped in it.
Sean.
Well, wait a minute. When was
Really
that? How long
stepped
ago?
Oh,
in
you
it.
son of a bitch.
How long ago was that, Jay?
Nothing big.
So Lizzy and I, because I don't want to run. So Lizzy and I last year, I came and did. Lizzy's in Taika's movie Next Goal Wins, and then I came in and I just shot
this
for
is
a
the
couple
thing you
days.
just shot.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for a couple
Is
days.
this where you guys kissed?
And where we kissed.
Oh.
And we celebrate this moment, and Lizzy turns to me and goes, "Should we kiss?" And I go, "Yeah, I guess so." And they're like, "And action." And we just it was just like that.
Wow.
It was just like that. There were no questions really
So,
asked.
listener Tracy, there's a situation when actors kiss, it's never in the script whether the mouth opens or stays
Yeah,
closed.
let's talk about that.
You need to kind of understand what kind of kiss it is, right? Is it passionate or is it celebratory and it's a little see you tomorrow and a little peck?
And you discuss
And
it?
I don't often discuss it. You just kind of supposed to know.
I feel like you have to discuss
Well,
it.
you're supposed to now.
Did you guys discuss?
We did not.
You did not discuss. Did the mouth open?
No, it was kind of just like it was like a celebratory,
celebration,
like a
yeah.
really celebratory moment. So it was
neither
like
one of you seems sure about that. Did tongues touch at all?
I don't think so.
Not
Still
ours.
not
No,
real
not
sure, are
ours.
you?
No.
no.
No, it could because it was like we were happy. We're like, all right, they scored, and then we sort of hugged and then kissed.
And I did ask. I just want it noted
did
that Will
ask.
said I did ask. There was consent.
She did ask,
Right.
Yeah.
But so it was a celebration over a kid's soccer goal.
Not a kid's.
Not a child, a real human.
Oh.
She was
I
like
got you. Well, yeah, you're not going to tongue kiss on a
No,
celebration.
No.
it was a quick moment. But normally, when you would do any sort of love scene or kiss, there would be sort of, especially now, there's even more
Well,
conversation.
they have a person on set. They actually have a person assigned.
Intimacy
coordinator.
coach.
Yes.
Yeah.
But wait, have any of you here on the, as Jason calls the panel, have you ever had a moment where you had to kiss somebody in a scene on any job, and you open the mouth but no tongue? Because I think that's incredibly awkward.
A lot. Yeah.
That's so weird.
It is weird. It is weird.
That's like fake cutting me a piece of cake. It's like
Wait. So the goal there would be so that camera can see that. Oh, this is a passionate kiss, right? Because you see the jaws moving and stuff
but
like
if you're
that.
already halfway there, why not just insert the tongue?
Well, I think the tongue is considered just the level of intimacy that some people aren't ready
but
or
it's like
wanting
you're
to
already
go
there.
to. I'm with you. I think if there's a discussion and consent and everything and everyone's on the same page, I'm with you, Sean, where it's sort of like, well, at this point, I mean, God, you might as well make it look real.
I had to make out with Katie Finneran on stage and in Promises every night. And we just fucking sloppy, wet tongue kissed every night.
Every night?
Yeah.
It's all about comfort too. I find that if you've just met the person, or if there's something that you don't, you're much more sort of cautious of what they're comfortable with. But most of the time, there's somebody that if you're on a series, it's not your first kiss.
But Sean is a loose cannon. He got a massage. He popped a bone getting a massage recently from a woman. He's all over the map. He doesn't know what's going on. It's a true story. You said it. You're the one who talked about it. True story.
Wait, this was in the Bahamas, right?
Yeah,
After we got out of the
Bahamas,
ocean.
Yeah, that's right.
He had a treatment.
Yeah, and Jason had one still in his gardening outfit.
How did you deal with
Well,
that?
she did a lot of drive-bys, right? A lot of brush-bys.
Yeah,
it wasn't his fault.
did,
She was
yeah.
being inappropriate.
A lot. And then, and it was a small towel over it. And then it just kind of lifted and she just didn't care.
Where was this?
This is the Bahamas.
This is in the Bahamas on this incredible trip that they went on that I did
Wasn't
not go
available
with.
for.
Weren't invited to?
Well, you don't like sandals, so
They claim I was. They claim they invited me, but I don't remember. Actually, the last time I did and said I wasn't invited to something,
yeah,
Kimmel
I think there's an email for this
printed
too.
an email to
Yeah.
prove that I never answered. But here's Here's the thing. I'm worried about like anytime I've done a kiss on screen, I'm always worried that they're going to fall in love with me. Yeah, because my kissing,
coming a mile away.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they're only human. They can't help themselves. You lay one of those kisses on them, right? Lizzy, I bet it was you had to probably a couple of days afterwards. Like, what are you going to do?
I wouldn't leave town. I was showing up outside his house.
Right.
Lizzy, aside from that stuff, like are dating, do you want to date, kids, marriage, anything like that?
Say again.
What's the question?
Kids, dating, marriage, anything in your life right now that
What are you just reaching into a grab bag?
Thought you just slide that in there?
Why not? We're all
personal stuff. Go ahead.
Sean is.
You don't have to answer it.
I like Sean. Sean and I are good.
Yes,
I feel
Except
safe
for
with
personal
him.
questions. All right.
I'm visiting you when I'm in New York.
I would love that, honestly. It's kind of weird that we've never met.
I know it is.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm single.
What's your sign?
Nothing going on. Leo.
Mm-hmm. What's your rising?
I don't know, actually.
Special
I've never
skills.
had that
Any
done.
special skills?
Horseback riding?
Okay.
Oh.
Good.
You work for Tinder? Like
No, just updating her profile.
Taekwondo. Just updating my Wikipedia. So no, single. I would love to have kids at some point soon.
That's good.
You're a damn catch. You are a real catch.
I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, we both will.
For
We've
children?
set up many, many people off this
No,
podcast.
for children. No, for
Any loose kids running around?
and available children that aren't.
All right, so
maybe this is out of bounds for me to say, but Sean, why don't you donate some sperm so Lizzy can have a child?
Don't threaten me because I'll do it.
Really?
No, why not?
I am on board.
Now there are banks, right? I've heard about these. You can look through like these profiles, these pages and pages of different donors, and
Or we could just go at it, and I'll close my eyes and hold my breath. Yeah.
Or I could just give you a massage, and apparently.
yeah, that's all it takes.
I've been creating a bank here. I've got a jug that I've been for the last couple of years.
Hey, man.
that I keep in the back fridge. I keep it in the back fridge, and I just
Keep it in the back
Fridge in the garage.
A jug. It's just open, just like a lid.
it's just like an old timey plug.
Yeah,
It's like
a cork.
rusty.
Yeah. So speaking of perfect days, Liz, if you aren't working on one of these great things, which I would assume would be a perfect day for you, what would be the second most perfect day? What do you really like to do with your days if you're not working, not watching Real Housewives?
In New York.
Well, you're right about the first thing. My ideal day is, I'm such a nerd, is working.
Yeah.
Being on set. Otherwise, I do love being in New York, and I don't get to be here as often as I would like. So definitely in New York. It has just become fall here. New York got the memo. Yesterday was the first day of fall. New York is ready. New York was literally like 5, 6, 7, 8, and showtime. Here we are. Like, it is crisp. It is amazing out.
You like rent one of those bikes and just start tooling around, or you just start walking around like Mary Tyler Moore?
Like Mary Tyler Moore. I love walking. It's why I couldn't live in LA. I love walking around the city.
I do too. I love it.
Right? So I no plans. I don't like plans because unstructured time is something that I don't get a lot of. So
I'll see you when I see you.
Exactly. Just run into you in the park.
Now, are you a night owl? Are you one of those people that really takes advantage of like the whole restaurant scene in New York, and you're out till you eat at like 10:30 and that stuff? No.
I love an early dinner.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly happy with a dinner at 6. I think that's absolutely acceptable.
I'd push it to 5:30.
Why not? 5 o'clock. Let's go.
I ate dinner at 5 almost every night.
I love it.
When I was younger, I was a little bit. I was definitely more of a night owl for sure, and yeah, it definitely started to change.
Uptown or downtown?
Uptown, Upper
Really?
West. Yeah,
Upper West. Near Sean.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you there now?
No, I'm there for all of 2023.
Here comes tongueless kissing.
I'm telling you. I tell you what. Sean, you want to borrow my jug? Because you can take it over.
Just drop it off. I have a doorman building.
Post it on it, and you're all set.
We don't even have to talk. You don't just see me.
Hey, Sean Hayes is going to come by and drop something off. It's not labeled. Just accept it.
Just throw it in the
Do
freezer.
not drink it. Or
Well, we're going to end on a high note here, and we're going to thank you for your time.
Oh,
for your
Lizzy,
humor,
we love you.
your
I love you.
generosity,
Pleasure. I
your
love
spirit.
you.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
Lizzy, you know what the thing you did was? You actually, Jason was really grumpy this morning, and you did turn his day around.
Yeah, you turned that
You
frown
really
upside
did,
down.
legit.
Double thumbs up. I knew
Yeah.
you would.
I
Thank
know. I
you.
heard you. I'm so happy I could. And thanks
You are
for having me.
sunshine.
I requested to be on this podcast because I'm such a big fan of it.
Oh, that's so
So-
nice.
You didn't need to ask
How is that
twice.
possible? You're,
Thank you.
Listen,
Greatest.
you're so great, and you're such an unbelievable mega talent. It's just
Yep.
so
Thank you.
great
Keep
having
going.
you here. And I
Keep
think
giving us
you're
stuff.
a super
Yeah.
nice
Thanks.
person,
I
too.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
All
you.
right.
I think it should be under her eye.
Under her eye.
Oh, I
Just throwing it
like
out
it.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Look at you.
Lizzy, you're the best. Have a great rest of the day. We'll
Thank
speak to you
you.
Bye,
Bye,
soon,
Lizzy.
I hope.
Awesome. Thanks,
right.
guys. Apartment
Bye-bye.
5A, Sean. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Get there.
Keep the door open.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
That was so funny. I mean, I never met her. How do you know her, Jason?
We've talked about like doing some work together, like that kind of thing. Nothing
The
structured.
nose or your brow
Yeah,
or what?
well, we were going to get a twofer on just a brow lift, and
That's so funny.
she's
tell you a funny-
she's amazing.
I tell you a funny story. I don't know why I didn't tell it on the thing. We were laughing too much. So when my ex-wife Amy was pregnant with Archie, and it was right up almost the day it was her original due date, and she had a doctor's appointment, and the doctor's like, no, it's going to be another week or whatever. And then that night, after Friday night, she did a joke run through for update with Tina, and it came home, and then like her water broke, and it was a Friday night. We went up to the hospital, and then next day Archie was born. It was the first time that that weekend that Hammer was John hosting SNL.
Oh,
And they were going to do this sketch that Amy was going to do with them, blah blah blah, and they had to replace her in all these sketches. And Lizzy happened to be in town because John was hosting SNL, and so she came and
wow.
filled in
Wow.
for Amy.
that's amazing.
On the
Wait,
thing.
on
Yeah.
update too?
Not an update. No. Just on the show.
And the
Yeah.
sketches and stuff.
Yeah.
That's super
Isn't that
fun.
cool?
That's so cool. Yeah. I
Yeah.
can't believe I've never met her. She's
amazing.
She's great.
Yeah, she really is.
Oh, what a talent. She's an unreal talent.
Yeah.
Isn't she fantastic? And funny too.
Yeah,
I want to
really
see her
funny.
in like some comedies.
She's so mellow.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Like in the best way as a
We
compliment.
got to set her up. Let's make that a smart.
That's why I
hookup
asked. I'm
right
gonna.
there.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna find
let's set her
somebody
up.
for her.
Let's set her up. I'm going to
Yeah.
put a
Yeah.
list together right now.
Yeah, of past SmartLess guests.
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
past smart and just guys who are going to be released the next year or so,
Guys that are
who are on parole, but like
Right.
more like white collar.
sure. Yeah,
Criminals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she deserves a great dude.
What do you guys got the rest of the day?
I'm gonna go to an eye doctor because I have an eye infection.
Are you going to take some notes for the next episode of Hypochondriactor?
Yeah,
should.
actually, I am.
Hey, have you prepared stories that you want to open the show with for next show?
Sure, I can do that.
Yeah.
Sean,
Why not?
no, because
I don't prepare them. I'm just like, oh, this happened today.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about
you'll,
that.
You'll log it.
okay.
Willie, you've got, you're going to help the planet by doing what?
By
9 holes of
9 holes of golf.
golf? Is it
Well,
9 holes?
I'm gonna work. I got a little bit of work to do. I'm gonna watch some. I'm gonna watch some soccer, some UEFA Nations.
Watch some soccer, watch some golf, then go play some golf, and then
Yeah,
leave your car running just so the air conditioning can be on in a parking lot somewhere.
You know what? Sometimes, in order you got to let things go, or as I always say, let bygones be bygones. Bye.
Sean, you don't need to duet the bye, okay?
Why not? You don't fucking say it at all. I gotta make up for you.
SmartLess is 100% organic and artisanally handcrafted by Michael Grant Terry, Rob Armjarv, and Bennett Barbaco.
SmartLess.
Our next episode will be out in a week wherever you listen to podcasts, or you can listen to it right now early on Amazon Music, or early and ad-free by subscribing to Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts or the Wondery app.